hashtag for Kyle.
For Nino.
For Ninong, there you go. For Ninong. Prayers up.
How about Ninong Strong?
Ninong strong.
Hey, bro, you're a milk guy.
This guy is a calcium expert.
Daryl is wearing a tracksuit. And he's wearing glasses, and he looks like Vector from Despicable Me. That guy from Despicable Me.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. It's the Large Guys Podcast, the best show not on television. And we got some recurring guests. Last time they were on the pod, we talked a little All-Star Weekend stuff. We made some predictions, 2.5 months in advance for the playoffs. And I am here today to confidently say that we didn't miss a single one of our predictions, and we're here to talk about it. I'm your host, Joseph Kirai, and I'm a liar. I'm just kidding. Everything I just said was a straight up lie, but I'm honest about that. Anyway, like I said, we have our two esteemed guests, both from the Bay Area. Who would have thought 3 years ago, or however long it's been since this podcast started, I never envisioned two Warriors fans on my podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what? You live and you learn, you grow, and things happen. So I'm going to introduce our first guest, starting in the top left from what I'm seeing. I can't tell which. I think this one's Jeremy.
Nice.
But Jeremy,
Okay.
what's going on? How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good. I just quit my job today. It was a pretty toxic work environment, so I've been happy to get out. I'm at peace with it, and I'm just hoping to have a good conversation about basketball. I know it's going to be a pretty funny one, considering that our predictions were kind of incorrect, to say the least. So, but it is nice to watch some really good basketball. I definitely haven't been taking that for granted. It's been so much fun to watch the Nuggets just destroy the Western Conference. And it was really nice to see them destroy the Lakers. That was really, really satisfying. And if it's not the Warriors, then it doesn't matter as long as it's also not the Lakers too. So that's where I'm at.
We also have our second guest. I believe he goes by he's going by a different name today than he did before. So I'm just gonna let him explain everything. How you doing, Wilt?
Yo, what's going on, man? My name is Wilt Chamberlain. No, I'm just kidding. What's up? My name is Tonton Kahayag. It's not Wilt Chamberlain. I chose that name here because I knew we were talking about basketball, and I had to acknowledge one of the greatest centers to ever play the game, Kevon Looney. Nah, but yeah, just wanted to do that for like fun and whatnot. But yeah, honestly, doing pretty well. All I did was work and work out today, so that's it. But yeah, life is going great, and so are all the basketball games, except that last game 7 between Miami and Boston, because like that was such a fun series to watch up until the end. It was just like, oh, here we go, we got chokes. But yeah, speaking of chokes, definitely choked on my predictions, and like I don't remember all of them, but there's one I vividly remember, and I'm like getting ready to defend myself because like, yeah, it just did not go well.
Yeah, I mean, let's just segue into that. Like I said, we did make some early predictions. I mean, whether they came true or not, they were well-formed opinions. I think they were opinions that, if you're looking at it objectively, you can see, all the perspectives that we were coming from at the time. Especially look, there were certain teams that were looking real nice end of February that made it to the play-in or first round of playoffs, and they weren't looking real nice when the lights were brightest. But yeah, let's start with that, Tonton. Like, I think you're gonna talk about the Pelicans. Is that what we're
Yeah, that's where we're going. All right, so my prediction, I wanted to say prediction was like Pelicans, like first in the West, or like bare minimum top 3, right? And it hinged on like they're playing good basketball. At the time, they were playing good basketball, like pre All-Star break. They're playing good basketball without their best player. So I was like, okay, per like Pelicans report or like per the medical reports, Zion should be coming back pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, but as he like was gone as quickly as he like came back.
Yeah.
So like they just never caught the momentum of like having their best player on the team. At this point I don't even remember if they made playoffs. I don't think they did. Maybe
They
playing.
didn't. Yeah.
So like yeah, that fell apart. But I was hinging on like Zion like just coming back and like everyone like being able to play well and just like ride that momentum. But like no, they just never got their guy back. So
It is what it is, man. But I mean, we had a consensus that, and I think both of these still hold true for sure. We had a consensus that Denver. Well, okay, we said Denver was going to be top 3, but I think we all agreed that like they were sus at the time.
yes.
And I mean, at the time, we had every right to feel that way, and they proved us wrong, which is good. I'm happy about it because I've been a big Jamal Murray fan. I don't know what it is that people don't like about Jamal Murray. I like Jamal Murray.
There are people who don't like him.
Oh yeah,
That's
people
crazy.
that I talk to kind of often. So
Oh well,
Interesting.
that really
I
don't
love
like-
Jamal Murray, man.
Yeah, I've ever since the first Rising Stars challenge when he like hit like 8 or 9 threes in that game, I was like, who's this Canadian guy? This guy's not bad. This guy's not bad. And then you know, man, I became a fan, from his IG stuff and no, I'm kidding.
Hey, hey.
This man knows how to work social media. I can tell you that.
That's crazy.
But no, and then we got a glimpse of what he could be in the bubble, and then like worst timing ever, he tore his ACL. And then
Against the
last
Warriors.
year, worked on getting back. This year he's hooping. I'm happy, man. We talked about the Suns, and I'm so glad we were wrong about them. I remember that. And one thing that we did get right, and again, even though they lost in the second round, we said, hey, man, if the Warriors are in the playoffs, they're going to make some noise. And they ended up beating Sacramento in a very good series. So, like, I think that holds true. Plus, they took it, like, pretty far in the Lakers series still. Like, it wasn't an easy route or anything like that. And I think in the East, we all agreed on the Celtics being top 3. We had
Yeah.
Philly looking good, and Philly was good until they fell apart in that last series that they were in. I don't know who it was. I don't want to just give myself credit for it because I've always been a Jimmy and Heat guy. But I know at least one of us mentioned how like if the Heat make the playoffs, they're always going to be dangerous. So shout out to whoever that was. I'm not positive on who that was, but I know that it was mentioned. And then I think we also talked about Milwaukee, and oh God.
Oh yeah.
Milwaukee was tough.
That was just so sad.
Yeah,
It was sad.
It was tough. And then I know I was saying a lot about how the Clippers could be dangerous, and they still could have been, but Paul George didn't play in that first round. So like, but I mean, even the games they lost to the Suns, a lot of them were pretty close, and that was still a healthy Suns team at the time until I think the end of the series when CP went down.
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, we all know the Suns are frauds, and that's all that matters. So. But yeah, do you guys have anything else to say about your predictions or anything that you guys talked about on the last episode we did? Was there anything that shocked you? I think that played out because I think we also agreed that the Grizzlies
First round.
Yeah, like we were like, ah.
I knew that coming from a mile away, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think we knew that the Grizzlies were going to be a first round exit, and then once they matched up with the Lakers, and it was like pretty set in stone that they were going to be out. My prediction was definitely Warriors, but at the time, I think it was more justifiable because I think they were starting to pick it up a little bit. But unfortunately, just with the way the season panned out and the way that Jordan Poole just couldn't wake up from the punch that knocked him out, it's kind of unfortunate in that way. But and Wiggins was definitely starting to pick it up after he came back from that long absence. But it was just a multitude of factors that I think some were out of our control, but some were mainly in our control. At the end of the day, the way that the team played, they didn't deserve it ultimately. And I think it showed in our play, especially in that game 6. where it just didn't feel like they wanted it as much as previously. And it sucks to see that, but there definitely was some really exciting basketball, especially with that game 7. That was definitely one of the better games to remember. But it does suck that the season ended that way. But I can't say that I'm upset about it. A little disappointed, but I'm not surprised by any means either.
Fair. Here's what we'll do. We'll talk about the Warriors, and then after that, like, I want each of us to pick a team that got eliminated. And because I mean, we can't talk about all of them, there's too many. But like
Yeah.
we'll each pick one and then kind of discuss like where do they go from here, because there are definitely some interesting storylines that have already emerged, like days or even like while they were still in the playoffs, of like, okay, this could happen. So but I do want to talk about the Warriors because the Warriors are trending right now.
Oh yeah.
Y'all's GM is Bob Myers, is that his name?
Yeah. Bobby
Yeah,
Light
so
years.
Todd Myers.
he resigned today. We're recording this Wednesday. I didn't do this at the beginning. I actually never do this, but it's Wednesday, May 31st. This episode is gonna go out tomorrow, hopefully before the first game starts. Hopefully. But yeah, it was announced today that Bob Myers is stepping down. I know that he's, I mean, a big part of what the Warriors are today. So I'm sure this is an emotional day for you guys. But we'll start with that, and then we'll talk about like what you guys think from a personnel standpoint, how this team's gonna look going into the off season, going into next season, changes that you guys see happening or and stuff like that. But yeah, how do you guys feel about this Bob Myers? Was it inevitable? Was it something that was kind of like writing on the wall type thing?
I think like I don't think it was like inevitable. I mean, like they showed, or like there were like talks about it during like our playoff games, but like I think as a fan going in, I was just like, oh, I think like we'll be able to like sign him back. Like the only thing that I could see like the only reason why like he wouldn't sign back, it'd have to be like personal, or like otherwise, other than that, like I think he signs back. But I think days after like it was reported that we gave him like the biggest contract for like a GM, and like we heard nothing, I think that's when I knew that I was like, okay, yeah, he's probably not coming back. So like yeah, I'm definitely like sad from it, but and I don't know where we go from here type deal, because I think Myers was like, to me, he was the bridge between like getting guys for like this for the system and getting like talents to develop, because there are Steve Kerr players, and then there are what the frick is Joey Light years, like Joe Lacob players. A prime example of like a person who played this year who's like a Steve Kerr player, and a prime example of like a Joe Lacob player would be Anthony Lamb and Jonathan Kuminga. So Lamb,
no, that's literally who I thought.
yeah. So Lamb is just a guy who he does his job. He like knows his system, or he played well within the system, and because he played well within the system, we gave him minutes. Whereas Kuminga is a budding, not even budding, we haven't seen enough, is a young talent that can be developed into something crazy, but might not be something that fits our system. So you have two guys like those two players, and Bob Myers was kind of like the guy to bridge those gaps and be like, well, it's like this guy's gonna need minutes, and we're gonna have to go after like guys like this to not only like appease the fan base, but also look to the future. Because I think Steve Kerr definitely looks more for like the wins now than he is like winning in the future. Whereas an owner and the GM are always going to be looking for the future. So I think Bob Myers was like the perfect gap for that. And now that he's gone, I think it's just going to be more getting guys like Anthony Lamb and getting guys who like fit the system, rather than giving us like young prospects that we can look forward to, which I'm not mad at all, because if I'm being honest, we haven't done that good of a job at developing we've been good at acquiring young talent, but developing is another level, because we have like a drop-off year in Jordan Poole. But I'm somewhat confident he'll get it back. But then we have guys like Moody and Kuminga, where I don't know how we can fit them in our system currently with how they play right now. Not so much how they're playing, but just how like what their play style is. and like how that can contribute to our team. So I think it's definitely going to be a thing where Steve Kerr just is like, yeah, let's just get a guy who can get Steph more rings. So if
Fair enough.
we get it, yeah.
What about you, Jeremy?
I definitely think it's really tricky because I'm not sure if Clay's gonna want to have to take a pay cut, even though I feel like he's already gotten paid, and I feel like it's his turn to kind of make way if they still want to win. You know what I mean? I feel like it's his turn to kind of make way for the team to be able to continue adding pieces. And it's so weird because this was probably one of his best seasons numbers wise. So it's probably the expectation that like he should get paid. But like people are also saying like trade him, da 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 da. Because because it's like he had a few bad games in the playoffs. Like yeah, it's true, but like he's still a knockdown shooter, and you'd rather have him on your team than not. You know what I mean? Because he definitely showed in a few games that he still has it. You know, it just didn't come up. It unfortunately didn't come up when we needed it to the most. And then there's the whole Jordan Poole situation, of course. Just him kind of just, you could tell from the moment the season started, he wasn't very locked in, which was really sad to watch.
Y'all didn't have enough baddies at the Chaser.
Bro, we had
Arena,
Zendaya. Stop playing. Zendaya was there.
For one game though,
Bro.
she needed to show
And he
up
didn't
more
even play
often.
well in that game, man.
Yeah, you right.
One baddie to rule them all.
Yeah. And then there's the whole thing with Draymond. I think he wants to get paid. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I saw something where he said he wants to get paid. And there's the whole Podmon situation, which is also very like, I wouldn't say controversial, but something that I feel like can be a distraction.
Mhm.
And I definitely do think there's still a couple more years in Steph's prime, or at least the end of his prime, whether the window is still slightly open. And I do think it has been a little frustrating from a fan perspective to see the 2 timeline approach, like with James Wiseman. I personally didn't want to give up on James Wiseman because I think that his talent was just, he had a lot of talent, and he just wasn't. It felt like he also wasn't very locked in to the system, and he didn't buy into what we were trying to accomplish, which really sucks because he's so good.
Yeah, he's working in Detroit.
But like that's the thing too. He's like getting all these buckets and like having all these points, but he's still like a negative 12
Yeah.
on the box score. So it's like
He's not
you can have all that point. So it's like, but it like doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You're gonna score in Detroit. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're playing guys like Ty Jerome and Anthony Lamb over Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga. And I'm like, Ty Jerome, sure. Ty Jerome hit some big buckets for us. And Anthony Lamb, I don't get him off.
Hey, I told y'all.
I don't know, man.
Hey, I've been telling y'all, man. I've been
He
telling
got a
y'all.
fresh lineup, bro. I'm just saying. But like, it was a little frustrating not seeing Kuminga play because man, he can jump from the free throw line at any given moment and just get you 2 points.
Bro,
you know?
and is he 20 yet? Like, because he was young for his class.
He's definitely not 21. He's for sure not 21.
He's younger than Jalen and them because he reclassified and didn't even play his senior year of high school. Like he went straight to the G League. So he's a year younger than all of them. So like that just like that says a lot, dude. Like he's already built like a grown man at whatever age he is. Like that was my biggest thing. I whenever I watch y'all's games, I'm like, bro, where's Kuminga at? Like, there's no way we can't have him. Like, you guys can't have him spot like 12, 15 minutes in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because in the regular season, he was playing like 20, 25 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And then I understand like the rotation dropping off to like 8, 9 guys in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But he should be one of those 8, 9 guys.
Yeah. Like at worst, I thought he should have been 8. You know, like
and like Moody was getting some run too, and obviously like down the stretch of the regular season, Moody was hitting some big shots for us. So like I kind of understand that, but like Kuminga was giving us like 12 to 16 points a night at one point, you know. So it was definitely a little frustrating to see, because I do think there was a lot of ball watching, and obviously when Kuminga's on the court, he's just slashing and demanding a lot of attention as well. I mean, obviously when he didn't have a body on him. He was above the rim. So
Yeah.
it just sucks that
I like that
it
guy,
went that
man.
way.
I like him a
You know,
lot.
like Kuminga, like I'm excited for Kuminga because his ceiling is high, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I felt this season.
Sure.
It was you definitely felt it on the court that the front office wanted to develop this young talent, and then Steve Kerr was just trying to get wins, you know, and it just didn't mesh well. But you know, I don't want to undersell how much Bob Myers has also done for us as a fan base. You know, obviously he got us 4 rings and probably had one of the biggest sign-in trades in bringing D'Lo over, as well as making the Iguodala trade. Right, that was crazy. I remember where I was in Vegas when that happened. We were at conference in 2015. It was the
15,
Cross
yeah.
Encounter conference,
Mm-hmm.
and then we traded for Iguodala, and I was like, dang, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, he's definitely done a lot, and I don't feel scared or nervous because I think there was Joe Lacob's comments were like, we're gonna win no matter what, like no matter what the rules are, and I was like, okay, like I think that's pretty cool. I think the future's bright for sure.
No, for sure. Yeah, the 2 people that you talked about, Kuminga and Moody, those are the ones for me, like from my perspective, where I'm like, if not next season, then when? You know, like if you're not gonna invest time, like they've I'm not gonna say patiently waited because they've been vocal about how they wanted to be in the rotation, and that's like a good thing too. Like you want guys that want to be on the court, like. Sure, like maybe don't be super salty about it, but like they wanted to be there on like contributing. And it's like if in year 3 you're not gonna invest the type of minutes that that they should be having as young players, you know, you got to move them and bring in, you know, then make way for whoever you feel like. But I think those are 2 guys that you shouldn't miss on. Like the day, like when that draft happened, it was Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. I was pissed, dude. I was so mad. I was like, because Kuminga and Moody were 2 of my, like, that whole class. I followed their high school and
Crazy.
college careers, and so like it's crazy to think that it's still crazy to think that Cade, Scotty, Moses Moody, and then this other dude who was a year younger than them were all on the same high school team. Like it's just it's kind of insane. Caleb Houston is his name. I don't know what he's doing right now. I think he's in college. Like they were all like, and they were dogging those little white boys in Florida. Like, they were dogging them. Like you think like Scotty Barnes is just a savage in general, but when he was in high school, he would like they would throw him the ball all the way down. Like he would just go straight to the rim on a fast break. He would catch the ball, wait for 2 players to come catch up, and then he would just slam it immediately, bro. It was the best thing ever. But like, yeah, like so those 2 guys were prospects. I was like, man, like they should go to this team, they should go to that team, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I was like, man, if Houston somehow, you know, whatever. And then when the Warriors got them, I was like, bro, it's a wrap. Like, I was like, you put them in the Warrior system, they're gonna figure it out for sure. And so, like you guys said, like there's still time, but for me, I'm like, if not year 3 for them, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, I think the plan for like in my mind, the Kuminga situation is a lot more frustrating because like knowing what he can bring to our team, like right now, not even just like what he can develop into, like right now, just like that energy and just like the hustle off the bench. It's something we needed like this playoffs. Like I think that was like that energy and like I guess like even youthfulness is something we needed specifically against the Lakers, maybe not so much against the Kings, but like every time our bench would go in and I just see guys like no energy, not knowing what to do on offense, and just playing like matador defense. I was like, why don't we just put Kuminga in? And like I think having him in the game alone will just like make guys run with him, like make guys like run back on defense, and just like at least he might like make a couple like mistakes on defense of just like maybe like jumping too early or just like reaching. But I'd rather have a guy like trying than just like, oh well, I can't do anything about it. It's Anthony Davis. He's just gonna score over me. Like for sure. To me, it was like ridiculous. So I think with the old with our old core right now, if we don't find a way to like fit Kuminga into that and just like use that youth and use that like energy to just continue the dynasty. I guess like in broad
Yeah.
terms, then
Like
Yes,
you
that's-
can do with him. I'm not gonna like say to the exact extent, but the way that they utilize Kawhi in San Antonio,
exactly.
the year they want, like that's the path that Kumi. I'm not gonna say that he's Kawhi,
Yeah,
like even at that time, but like you could use him in a way because those Spurs dudes were old.
yeah.
They were old. You know what I'm saying? Like they were hella old. So like Kawhi really balanced on his own, basically,
Yeah.
you know, their experience with his youthfulness. That's the same thing you can do with Kuminga and Moody,
Yeah.
honestly. And I know you guys like PBJ. I
do.
don't really know what his potential could be like because I've not really seen much of him, but I mean he was a pretty high pick, right? Like
He was last pick in the first round. I
oh,
wanna say.
psych. But he was a first rounder, you know. What I'm saying?
yeah.
Hey, whatever,
But,
man. Whatever.
Well, his recruiting was when he first got into college, like he was a like top recruit.
He was a big
And
deal.
he-
Yeah.
Yeah, and he played well in college up until he had like a pretty bad injury,
Mhm.
and that's I think is what dropped his stock. So
Mhm.
the fact that we were able to get a guy like that, I was like, okay,
Right.
let's see. Like
Yeah.
like Bobby and Joey Lightyear's got away with another one, but
Yeah. 100%.
I for him, like I'm willing to take my time on him because yeah, he's got a shot, but we got to see what else he could do besides shoot.
For sure. Is there, before we move on to the other teams, is there like one specific name or a type of player that you want to see brought in to help
Oh yes,
solidify this roster that you guys have?
easily. For me, I want Otto Porter Jr. back.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
want
where's
to
he at
because-
right now? What's he doing
because-
right now?
he's on
So he-
Toronto.
He's in Toronto.
He
so-
was injured.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, so I made this joke like in the middle of the season with some of my friends because a lot of like our old guys who aren't on the roster anymore, like JTA, Porter Jr., and at the time Gary Payton,
Yeah.
and we ended up getting him back. But I was saying like, guys, like they got their ring, we're letting them rest because I'm pretty sure they're all injured from that run. We're just gonna let them rest, and then we're gonna bring them back.
Run him
And
back, baby.
we already got one of them back. Otto Porter Jr. has been injured the whole year. I don't know if he's still on a contract, but if he wants to come back,
Hey, he was hooping.
Especially against the
the
Suns, man. He
Warriors.
was hooping.
He was hooping. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. I like that. That's good.
I went to like the last year, like the year we won. I went to like an open practice and they had like open gym, right? And Steph and Draymond were on like they played like five. Steph and Draymond were on one team, and Poole and Porter Jr. were on the other team. And when I say like the best two players on the court that day were like Steph and Porter Jr., it was actually like insane. Like Porter Jr. was putting up like crazy step backs. He was getting crazy like contested threes just going in. He was getting like nice lays. Like he's nice when he's healthy.
Okay. That's a good one. I like that. What about you, Jeremy?
Honestly, I saw this comment about how GP2 said he wasn't healthy at any point this year. So I kind of just want to see what he'd be able to bring back to the table fully healthy. But in terms of a player, I had a name, and there's a style of player that I was thinking about. Giannis. I'm just kidding. But,
Wembanyama.
Wemby.
Can't
Yeah,
quite put
Wemby.
my finger on it, but it's that one Greek dude. Hey, no, just get Alex Antetokounmpo, bro.
Dude,
Alex.
what's the last name, man? Isn't it? Is that the youngest one?
He is the youngest one, and if you look at him now, he's filled out into Antetokounmpo form.
He's nice.
But they're all filled out to that form. Costas and Thanasis are like
They're
Costa's
huge.
kind of well, Costa's tall, but Costa's kind of thin to me. But like Alex, when he like just like a year or two ago was still like kind of thin, but now he's like, you can tell he's just literally been hanging out with Giannis and his brothers.
Okay.
I do think, even though Looney does the job for being a little undersized, and he's not like super, super big, like buff. I do think we probably still need like a true center.
Some depth.
Because Looney can obviously guard like 1 through 5. But it would be really nice to kind of have that complete dominance in the paint. I think it's nice to not have to rely on your center grabbing 20 boards a night when you can have like a not necessarily like a DeMarcus Cousins, but someone who can just kind of show presence down there versus having to finesse it, because Looney was really good with like finessing rebounds and like tapping stuff out. And then we had guys like Dante literally just volleyball passing the ball out back to the top of the key, which was also really nice. And then obviously GB2 is like the biggest 6'3" guy on the court. It would be really nice to kind of have that to fall back on. Also just like a taller person to kind of be a shot blocker too, right? Because Looney is not really known for his shot blocking ability,
Right.
Like more for his rebounding, which again, grabbing 20 boards a night in the playoffs is insane. But it would be nice to kind of have like a Brook Lopez type of shot blocker behind you, right? When Jordan Poole's letting people blow
don't
by
say that
him.
out loud. Don't say that out loud, because that might actually happen. Brook Lopez to the Warriors. I'll be pissed, dude.
Is he a free agent?
I have no idea. But I feel like he wants to stay in Milwaukee. But like Brook Lopez, man.
I don't know, bro. If Steph made a call, I'm picking up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying.
I'm picking up.
I think them like one of the main centers that the fan base said that we should go after in free agency or just like trade for is Wendell Carter.
Oh yes,
that's nice.
Where it's like,
would you still be open to Miles Turner?
Yeah.
That work. I mean,
come on over, baby. Come on over.
But I also don't think he leaves Indiana.
Nah, yeah, definitely not. I mean, they'd ask for way too much.
They'd ask for way too much, and I think that they just have
ask for Steph.
They have a core that just like wants to compete right now.
They do, yeah. No, I like them. I like the Pacers. I was just, dang it, I was talking to somebody about. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. But you know how like there's a lot of talk about Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving
Boston.
Because I, for me personally, I think it's in his best interest to stay, because the Celtics have so much time with and they're a couple pieces away from like winning it all, but like they were in the finals last year. They made they almost made history this year. And to me, it does seem like Jaylen Brown wants to be the guy on a team. I don't know if he can be the guy. I just don't know if he can be the guy on a winning team. That makes the most sense.
Not on that Celtics team, at least.
Yeah, but
I don't think so.
I did like randomly throw out, I was like, but I mean, if he wanted to go to Indiana and play with Halliburton, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a bad fit. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because at first I was like, yeah, he'd have to go to a bad team. Like he'd have to go to Detroit, or like they've talked about Houston because of Emmy. But I'm like, I just don't like for me, I don't want to stunt Jalen Green's growth at all with somebody that's gonna take over the ball. But I was like, I'm sure you put him with Halliburton. That means probably Buddy's off the squad, but you're getting Jaylen Brown. But like Jaylen Brown, Halliburton, MT, and whoever else, and
they have Mathurin,
and like all the like they have like a bunch of
they have like that young guy. Sorry, the Pacers are like my second favorite team. They have Nemhard, who actually played.
Yeah. They have some young guys that like are flying under the radar. Put Jaylen Brown with them.
Maybe he could be the guy.
Not bad.
No, man. He's going to sign to Portland with Dame.
Yuck. And then Dame's going to go to New York.
No, man. He's going to give the people what they want. He's going to go to LA.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
No, don't say that.
Oh, God.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I definitely I like y'all's takes on the Warriors and what they could add. Otto Porter's, that's a good shot. Wasn't even thinking about him. And then depth at the big position, I think was pretty apparent the longer you guys were in the playoffs. So yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about Jalen. Honestly, that was the only thing about the Celtics I would have asked about. But I want to talk about Memphis.
Dude, same. I've been wanting to talk about Memphis the whole time.
Okay, fine. We'll save Memphis, and then I'll do Lakers because I talked about it before we started.
Okay.
The Lakers, they got a little sweep in May. And they just looked outmatched. It was great. It was beautiful. I loved it. There were a couple games like game 1 where Denver was kind of wilding at the end, but you know that Jokic and them, they come on now. Shout out to the Nuggets. We'll talk about them. But the Lakers, I mean, look. All-Star break, the Lakers were down bad. They made some big changes. Shout out to Rob Pelinka. Like brought in even when it started with Hachimura, technically, like with retooling the roster, and Hachimura came in a little bit earlier than everyone else. Even when they brought him in, I was like, what are they getting at here? You know, type of thing. Like this is interesting. Hachimura is he's not like the most widely regarded player in the league, but it's like, look, you put him in the right environment, who knows? And I think he definitely outperformed what people expect him to do in LA in just half a season. And then they brought in Jared Vanderbilt, kind of flopped in the playoffs, I'll be honest. But I mean, at the same time, like he was asked to guard and he for defense. So.
I think for the role that they asked him for, I think he did like his job.
Yeah. So that's fair. But like, boy, on offense, they were playing a man down. And then they were playing 2 men down because D'Lo was. You know, he was trying to take more shots after the game. Have y'all watched
I've seen the
World?
memes.
Have you seen the RDC World stuff?
No, I have not yet.
I haven't seen the Lakers one. No.
Okay, I'll send it to y'all in our chat, bro. It's. Did y'all watch the Warriors one when they got bounced?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
with where Draymond was doing the podcast in the locker room.
That was great, bro.
So good.
RDC World, they haven't missed, bro. But I'll send y'all the Lakers one. It's so good. But it looks like D'Lo is gone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of tough. But look, I think obviously LeBron is a big deal, but it's kind of out of your hands whether he retires or not because he's under contract. He ain't going nowhere, bro. He's trying to be the talk of the town, bro. He's trying to get everyone to talk about him, and that whole like, oh, I don't know, man. I do believe that the playoffs this time around was harder on him. You could just see it.
Yeah.
This whole season was hard for him, probably physically, mentally, even. Yeah. He ain't going nowhere. But I think your number one, you have to do what you didn't do with Caruso, and you have to re-sign Austin Reeves.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And if not, you know what? F it, bro. Austin Reeves to the Warriors. I don't care. Let's just make it chaotic. Let's just make it chaotic. If the Lakers are gonna fumble this once again, you know what? Austin Reeves to the Warriors. I'm down for it. I was wondering if you guys are gonna bring that up when I asked, like, is there somebody?
I didn't even think about that.
Austin Reeves on the Warriors?
Because I can't think about spending them. Like, I can't think about us spending that much money.
That is true, yeah.
Because
that's
for a guard, I think
that is a factor. But hey, man, you know.
I mean, I'd have him on the team.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
But,
I love Dante, but like Austin Reeves played out of his fucking mind, bro.
Yeah, no, for real. So yeah,
let us get Caleb Martin. I'm down for Caleb Martin to come to the Warriors.
Okay.
Bro.
Okay.
He's
Wait,
crazy.
why not Cody?
Bro,
You're a twin.
Who?
You're a twin. Come on, bro.
I don't know, man. Caleb's
want
shooting threes in Giannis's face.
I want London tipped in on the Warriors.
All I gotta know is Cody sitting at home salty.
Hey. He said, slide some of that check money my way, bro.
For real. Hey, can I have some of that talent back, bro? Come on. But yeah, if I'm the Lakers, that's your number one priority. I'm doing whatever I can to bring Austin Reeves back. I don't care about nobody else in the squad, honestly. That guy, like, he was doing and when the playoffs came around, he showed, hey, I'm here, like, I'm ready for this type of
For
thing.
real?
Like, I may be your third option, but at some point during the game, I can be your number one option.
Dude, he was
Type-
literally
type
pulling
of-
up from like 28, 29 feet.
It was beautiful.
Like,
It was beautiful.
crazy.
It was beautiful.
And it was fun to watch. I hated it, but it was fun to watch.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
it's one of those where it's like, man, despite being on the team that he's on, you just have to sit there and be like,
Like, this kid is
This
good, bro.
No,
This is
I
good.
I knew once he hit that half court shot against us, I was like, oh yep, we're done.
Bro, I knew the second it left his fingertips, I was like, it's going in.
nah, for sure.
Like, you just felt it going in.
Yeah,
Man.
for sure. But
Man.
how about you guys? How do you feel about the outlook for the Lakers? Where do they go from here?
I do think anything is possible when you have LeBron James, obviously, especially with AD being a top 10 player in the league. When AD can go and grab you 40 and 15 on any given night. Obviously re-signing Austin Reeves. I think kind of just figuring out what pieces are going to fit is obviously the thing. And I do think LeBron saying that he was going to retire was kind of him trying to take off heat from like, oh, Lakers got swept to, oh, is LeBron retiring kind of thing. That's how I felt about it.
He's
But
a smart guy.
You know,
He's-
it's kind of
yeah.
been that way every single time LeBron's gone out of the playoffs in some way. It's always he's wearing a cast or he's wearing a
hype.
boot or it's him retiring, which is like kind of funny to just watch because it's like, man, what are you doing? Like everybody sees it. Like no one cares. Like we know you're not retiring. I do. If he does retire, he's gonna play. I feel like he's just gonna play with Bronny first before he retires, if anything.
Well, somebody did say that like he could legitimately just take a year off, and then when Bronny comes back, all right, I'm here to hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I can see that actually is possible, but I don't know, man. I just don't see LeBron, the type of competitor he is, taking a year off.
take a year off. No
Knowing
way.
that he
no.
come
No
back.
way. Yeah.
You know, like if he's gonna leave the game, he's gonna leave the game. He's not gonna do that whole
Yeah.
type of deal.
Go play baseball.
No.
He does think he'd be a good wide receiver in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
Bro, he'd play a
Yeah.
tight end, bro. That boy's too big.
tight
to be
end for
on-
sure. Yeah, tight end for sure, dude. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and to kind of go off what you just said, I mean, obviously, they have to address the point guard position. It's just a matter of like you're either getting there's such a wide range of like you're either getting maybe Kyrie, like that's the best you can get, but then
I've
like
seen that.
in terms of like whatever else is possible, like there's so many like tiers of like
Yeah.
type of point guard that they could get, but
Like, do you go out and get like a Rondo or like not like
Yeah,
Rondo
like-
specifically, but like
yeah, like that type, like a
playmaker? Like
yeah, like I know like Jeff Teague is not in the league, but do you get a Jeff Teague
ooh,
type point guard? You
like
know,
a proven
like
Mike
like
Conley
hey,
type
just
beat.
call up Rubio, bro. Like, do you call up Ricky Rubio type of stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think a report I saw today was that one of their plans, like potential plans, is that they might sign and trade D'Lo for Van Vliet. Yeah,
Did he do? How well did he do this season?
Van Vliet? I don't think it matters how well he did. We know what he can do.
yeah, we know what he will do.
Put him in the finals, man. He won't miss.
No, for
Yeah.
real,
Crazy.
for real. Like, yeah,
Crazy.
Van Vliet. I know Van Vliet had a rough start, and then
He had a rough start, and I know he had some injuries, like on the
Yeah.
like during the
Yeah, I
season.
think so.
but yeah, but oh, that's dangerous.
And I think
That
that'd be good
is.
for them too, because like obviously, if you go out and get Kyrie, you got to pay Kyrie money,
You do
Yeah.
gotta pay Kyrie money.
and like
and it's there's a lot that comes with Kyrie.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not just getting a hooper at this point. You're getting a whole show, and it can be a distraction. Like
what
I'm
are you
not
talking
here
about?
to.
You're
I'm
getting
not-
one of
I'm-
the world's greatest thinkers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, there's just a lot of there's a lot that comes with Kyrie. I wish it wasn't that way because he's way too talented to have all that like dark cloud over him. Way too talented.
Yeah, dude.
But
It makes me sad. He's so fun to watch.
nah, for sure. Yeah. But Van Vliet on this Van Vliet, they get Van Vliet and Austin Reeves comes back. They won the offseason.
Because I think, well, not only do they have to sign Van Vliet, Austin Reeves, but don't they also have to try and bring Hachimura back too?
I believe so. Yeah.
So because I think their main focus, I don't know if they've already went and said it, but I think their main focus is bringing back those two young guys because I think they're only a piece away, in my opinion. Like they have a competitive roster right now. So I think their main focus is bringing back those two guys, and however much money they have left over decides like who they go and get. But if they do that sign and trade with D'Lo, then I think that can definitely make some room because I'm pretty sure they'd have to pay more or pay D'Lo more and then move the contract somewhere else.
And honestly, like D'Lo with the Toronto squad, assuming Siakam, because Siakam's like rumored to get traded to damn near every team at this point, right? Like for like the last year and a half too. It's kind of wild. But you stick D'Lo there with like Siakam, Hurdle's there. I love Gary Trent. Gary Trent's there. Scotty's there. That's yeah. You're losing your leader in Van Vliet, but you're gaining a guy that is an all-star has the all-star qualities, has been an all-star type of thing. It's just like, you just got to rein him in type of deal.
I don't think he's that same player, if I'm being honest.
That's fair. And that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. But I mean, he at least has some kind of resume.
Yeah.
Coming with him. So
he'd have to like operate on the consensus that like it's that old Brooklyn team, where it's just
yeah.
Like guys, we're not supposed to win anyway, so let's just try and win at least, or like let's just go prove everybody wrong, and if that happens, then that'd be cool.
Yeah, but enough talking about mid teams. We'll move on. I feel like we'll save Grizzlies for last. So Tonton, do you want to pick out of the eliminated teams that are left?
Yes, this is like the first team that came to mind. I wanted to talk about the Bucks because I thought that I thought just because they have Giannis and everyone else has been playing so well defensively, they're like for sure that they would be at least in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of things happened like in that series against Miami. Well, Miami happened. And I think that's one of the biggest surprises. But I think the main thing I want to talk about when it comes to Milwaukee is just that head coaching change and just the head coaching changes in general, because like there are like so many like coach of the year caliber coaches that have been fired, and for the Bucks, Budenholzer was one of them. So I couldn't fathom that at the time because I was just like, bro, like you already have a ring. And there's a clear culture built in Milwaukee, and to just like fire one of like not the main, but one of the heads of that culture is like kind of crazy to me. I know he had like some pretty bad mistakes in those playoffs, and like I also know that he was like going through things with like the passing of his brother. God rest his soul. But like I'm pretty sure, like all things considered, it didn't look like he lost his guys or like he lost the locker room by any means. So the firing surprised me. So I think for them, I don't think they need to change their formula. I'm just like really questioning how this team operates under a new head coach because
it's Nick Nurse, right? He's the coach.
Nurse
Nick
Philly.
Nurse is Philly.
I'm dead. Have they signed?
Yeah,
I don't think.
No, they did.
Oh, it's like something Griffin.
They signed. Yeah, so he was an assistant coach in Toronto. His name is Adrian Griffin.
Okay. Oh yeah. Maybe that's Toronto. It's two Toronto guys.
Yeah, two Toronto guys.
Okay.
But they signed him, and I know that like not only did like the players on Toronto right now kind of like send it like that coach like their regards and like his support, but Giannis is also like fully supportive in that decision too.
Good.
So that's like, yeah, that's a plus. Like I think
Is
it's
this
good.
is this the Adrian Griffin that played in the league?
I didn't even know there was an Adrian Griffin that played in the league.
I wouldn't be able
Well,
to tell you.
he played for the Rockets at one point. But,
Oh,
Oh, of course
that's
he
the only reason
did.
why I know him. But yeah, he was like a small forward.
This is not. I mean, this guy did play in the league, but he didn't play for the Rockets.
Oh, tough. Okay. I mean, Adrian Griffin is
Oh, just kidding. He did. You're right. You're right.
okay.
2003, 2004.
Oh, this is him. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So he did play for the Rockets. And like he has.
That's all
like,
that matters to me.
I know that's all that matters.
He's valid, bro.
But like he has like Giannis' support, but I think that I don't know. They just have like they just need another chance, to be honest, because they have good players too. They need a full season of like Chris Middleton in the playoffs, and Brook Lopez like playing the way he did this season was like absolutely insane. Bobby Portis, crazy.
that's crazy that you did that,
I mean, they're like wide open,
bro. He do be bugging, bro. He
but
looks like a fly.
no, but he's one of those players where it's just like, damn, I wish I could have a guy like that on my team.
Yeah,
He also one of them. He also one of them.
Oh yeah, he get hit, bro. Like if he finds this and he sees that I did that, hey, bro, contact my family. It's raps. But yeah, Drew Holiday, like we know what he can do. So I think if the coaching does well, then like I think that they have another chance to just continuously be top 3 in the East.
Yeah. And I mean, as long as Grayson Allen ain't trying to do a Euro with half a second left in the game,
oh,
be all right.
like
I
one
forgot
less
about
dribble,
that.
bro. Maybe one less dribble and maybe.
He didn't even have to dribble. Let's be honest.
Oh,
He
like-
could have just pulled up from where he was.
Hey, he's too busy thinking about who he should trip next. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if it was gonna happen to somebody, it had to be Grayson Allen. to
Yeah.
be that guy.
I hate Grayson Allen, bro.
Yeah. The only reason why I like him is because he played for Duke. But
Ah,
Are you a Duke guy?
yeah, that's like my college team.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why like Gary Trent's my guy. Even though Jason Tatum is a fraud, he's still my guy. Zion's my guy. I've always been an RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish kind of sucks right now, but like I like those guys a lot.
Jabari Parker or what?
Jabbar Parker, but I mean, yeah, tough. He was hooping that one time, in Chicago, I think.
Yeah, he actually did play like semi well.
But yeah,
he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah. That's the one thing out of those Warriors years. Hey man, Quinn Cook got ran.
Hey,
that's a
hey,
Duke
when you
guy
have to
right there.
decide between Iguodala's defense and Quinn Cook's shot making, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like Quinn Cook's a Duke guy, man, and he was on that last championship team that they had. So yeah,
And he won a ring with the Lakers too, right?
he did
In the bubble.
in the Mickey Mouse ring, right?
He also got left off the bus.
He did. That guy's a legend, dude.
J.
And I
Cole.
think as of right now, he's just chilling.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I have. That guy, dude, he's funny, bro. Like
I keep my head high.
like Quinn Cook's actually a character too. Which
He's
is
really funny. He's really
a
funny.
character. But yeah. So with that Milwaukee one, I assume they'll probably make some kind of a move. They'll bring somebody in to just I mean, I think as we always see, like, it never hurts to solidify your rotation, whether it's just strictly for regular season or you're trying to bring in that one guy that can make something happen and be your Caleb Martin type of dude, right? So there's somebody out there that I'm sure they'll try to bring in, because like you said, Bobby Portis has been good for them. He's kind of he's a bench guy. I'm dead, dude. And I can't really think about who else is on their roster right now. So I am thinking that like there's probably somebody that like there's definitely moves that should be made to because yeah, the reality of it is that like Chris Middleton ain't getting any younger.
Yeah.
like I feel like the injury problems are just going to be part of the Chris Middleton experience. And so if you want to do what you can to maximize that, you got to bring in somebody that can supplement and do it well at your 3 position. And that's definitely something they don't have as far as I know.
Yeah.
So for me, if I'm them, I'm looking at like a younger wing, get up and down the court, get you, some defensive stops, hit some shots type of deal. That could literally be like anybody.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of them finding it.
Yeah, for them, I'm looking at I'm sorry, this is totally not serious. I'm looking at Kenyon Martin Jr., Kevin Porter Jr.
Bro, okay, side note. There's this I don't know who it is, but on Twitter there was this like trade, it's like draft rumors.
Yeah.
And it's like the Raptors trade up to 4. So we send the 4th pick, we send KPJ, and we send Jabari, I think. Or no, I think it was KPJ and Alp, like low key. And the
Okay.
4th pick to Toronto for Siakam. I was like, no. You can take that idea and throw it away immediately. I'm not doing it. I'm not trading Jalen. I'm not even trading Jalen Green for Jaylen Brown. I'm not doing it.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's valid.
Yeah, keep all those Siakam trade to the Rockets. Keep it to yourselves. Keep it to yourselves. We don't want it. We don't want to see it. But yeah, Milwaukee, man. It was just like, bro.
I think they just need like another guy. No, and I'm not saying this specific player because like I don't think that this team would get rid of him, but they would need to get a guy who plays like Franz Wagner. Because that guy can hoop.
Oh.
Like he can hoop. And like I like knowing what he does for that Orlando team, which is just like whatever the hell they ask him to do, whether it's score or like pass.
They could get Mo Wagner.
Bro, but he's like a 5 who wants to fight everyone.
Oh, literally. I hate that guy. Franz is the younger one, right?
He is.
I hope so.
Wait, which one is the one who got knocked out? That was Mo.
That
right?
was Mo.
That was Mo.
But if Mo is like the younger brother, then he's just like definition of little shit. Like
True.
No, for sure Mo is older. He's
Okay.
definitely older. But yeah.
Okay.
I always think like the dude that is on I think Philly right now, McDaniels. Either of the McDaniels brother, I think their brothers are cousins.
Jaden and Xavier.
Jaden is the one with what one of them got clamps, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's Jalen. One's Jalen, one's Jaden.
That's
just-
not confusing at all.
I think it could be Xavier for all I honestly. It could be freaking anything, dude. But
Jaden plays for the Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels.
he
And
claimed
then
Oh, it is.
Jalen McDaniels plays for the
Hornets, Sixers.
yeah, Sixers.
Sixers, yeah.
Xavier McDaniel is a former player who played for the Nets and the Knicks in the 90s.
Hey man, but shoot, it sounds like to me he's well rested and ready to hoop.
Hey,
That's what it sounds like.
I mean, like, hey,
That's what it sounds like.
I'm just saying, you're 6'7", even if you're 59 years old, get out there, LeBron.
Hey, you can't teach height. That's what I'm telling you.
Hey.
You can't teach that type of height. But either of the McDaniels, I want to say they're brothers. They're related. Pretty sure they're brothers. But either of them, I'll always say that like those are because I think the one that's in Philly was playing in Charlotte earlier.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
And before he made the move to Philly, I was telling one of my good friends that's a Cavs fan. I was like, hey, y'all need to get that McDaniels kid. He's solid. And I was like, because Isaac Okoro, he ain't doing it for y'all. I'm telling you right now, he ain't hooping. And then he's like, no, dude. And like this, my friend, he's white. So he like he's like, no, dude, he's sick. Like that's literally what he told me. And I
No,
was
dude,
like,
he's sick.
yeah, like he literally talked about shout out Craig, by the way, if you're listening to this. But he was like, no, he's sick. I was like, no, he's not. He's not. He's not it. Dude can't shoot. He can kind of guard, but like he's just not it. I was like, get McDaniels, whichever one. But I think that type of player, you can get that type of player in Milwaukee. Smooth. you know?
Yeah. I mean, it fits what their identity is right now. is
Exactly, yeah.
Length and defense and
And
somebody.
like it's like I didn't really notice it until maybe playoff time, but like the year they won when they had PJ Tucker, kind of giving him you know, that like defensive edge and not having that now, it kind of shows, you know.
Yeah.
So it's PJ Tucker the GOAT. That's all I gotta say. Didn't really work out in Philly, but you know, that's for another conversation.
He did what he could.
He did. Yeah. Yeah. Philly, I don't know, bro. But I think we can move on to a team that honestly, who knows what the future is in store for these guys. But we'll start with two guys. Tell me what happens with them. Tell me what they're doing. When does the season start? It starts in October, end of October.
Yeah.
October,
At
yeah.
the end of October, I want you to tell me where and what they're doing. So where is Ja Morant and what is he doing come the end of October? And same for Dylan Brooks.
Ja
I know he
on
ain't gonna be-
house arrest.
Ja?
On house arrest.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
Ja Morant.
I think it's minimum. He's suspended for the rest of the year, like
Like-
calendar year. Calendar year.
Okay, fair.
At least I think.
So he can come back for the finals when the triumphant
mean-
return for the finals when the Grizzlies make it next year.
Because when we talked last time, the first gun thing hadn't even happened yet.
No,
He
no.
did it twice
That's
since
crazy.
we
He did it
last
twice,
talked.
bro. He did
That's
it twice.
nuts. And
That
he got
was-
suspended for 8 games the first time.
The first time.
That's crazy.
And he got to just hang out in sunny Florida and play putt-putt.
yeah.
Crazy, bro. But yeah, no, that dude, like when we were talking about the Grizzlies during the All-Star break, they had it all going for them, except for the fact that they were frauds. Like, but they had it going for them. And then in like 6 weeks,
Dylan Brooks,
That
China.
and then like Brandon Clark went down for the season
Oh,
too.
yeah. That was a
After
really
the
big one.
break, like some stuff happened to them. But yeah, okay. So you both believe. I also believe Ja probably ain't playing basketball for a minute. What about Dylan Brooks?
China. No. Yeah,
Yes.
I think you think
Yes.
I think there are a couple of teams who could use his services.
You know,
You
just
know what I mean?
just
Like-
for my amusement. Hey, Mark Cuban. Hey,
Okay. Wait.
give Dylan Brooks a call.
So it's funny because literally the day that they announced that he wasn't coming back, I texted our friend EJ. Shout out EJ. I texted him. I was like, bro, there's a chance, and he was like, dude, I know, and that's why I'm so scared. Because yeah, they could use a guy, maybe not in attitude, but a guy with his like skill set.
What he
And I
does,
get-
of course, yeah.
Exactly. And I was just like, they
Very
have a
good.
history of going after guys like that, like Petrus, not attitude, of course, but just talent. Petrus,
Mm-hmm.
Marion in the twilight of his career. So I was just like, oh, they could totally do it.
They could totally do it. And that would make the band of misfits that they've got going on here in Dallas so much more fun to watch. I would legitimately attend games if Dylan Brooks is hooping. Bro, if you're telling me that Tim Hardaway and Dylan Brooks are going to be teammates, I'm going to pay money to watch that shit show of a team. Like, I will watch that.
It'd be so funny too, because Luca, the whole before they got Kyrie, it's just like, guys, I need help. They get one of the most like polarizing players in the league, I guess, like in media, and then you get one of the second most polarizing player in the league in media on the same team, and that's considered help.
For such a totally different reason too.
I know.
Yeah, hey, I'm sold. Give me Dylan Brooks to the Mavs, please. I'm
That's all.
begging.
I don't think they actually do it. It'd be funny as hell if they actually did, but I don't think they actually do it. I think at the start of the season, he probably begins it as like a free agent, and then for like a team that's like either struggling or it's like struggling and they just need to sign players, or for a team that like can overlook his attitude problem, I think he would just go there. Where that team is yet, I have no idea. Actually, yeah, the Houston Rockets.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
That is crazy though, because there were some like things about like people were doing the whole like you edit his like him in the jersey. I did
Ooh.
see some. I tweeted about it. I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Keep. That's another thing that you can keep your Siakam trades to yourself and keep your Dylan Brooks to the Rockets to yourselves. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about it because that's legitimately disgusting. But anyways, let's talk about guys that will probably play for the Grizzlies.
Oh,
Brandon Clark.
In terms of their, so we take those two guys off, take them out of the picture. That's still a good roster. That's still full of guys that have continuously improved, like Triple J.
yes.
Tyus Jones.
I love Tyus Jones, Duke guy.
Yes.
Dude, Duke had him and Quinn Cook on that same national championship team. Good times. Good time. And Justice Winslow, who I don't know
I
where
forgot he was on Duke.
Where is he?
Is he
Where
not
is he
on the
now?
Grizzlies too?
Let's check.
I don't know if they can hear that. Justice Winslow. Oh no, he's on the Trailblazers.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah, that's where he is.
What?
And then they also had Jaleel.
They had Jaleel Okafor? Oh,
Yeah.
Portland. Yes, yes.
That was their but he was on that Duke team that won too.
Oh,
that was
yes.
their center. That was a tough team. But yeah, no, Tyus is a starting point guard in this league. You know what I'm saying? Like it just so happens he's playing behind Jaw. Desmond Bain, we like that
oh
guy.
yeah.
I like Xavier Tillman. I like
Love that
Xavier
guy.
Tillman. He's definitely a good you know, he don't need to be starting on the team, but like, you know, he can be in the rotation. Brandon Clark, I like Brandon Clark. Get him healthy. I actually another one of those guys that was in like the Jalen Green, Cade Cunningham draft class. Oh my god, I'm forgetting his name now. He played at Stanford. He was teammates with Bronny in high school.
Conchar. I don't know.
No.
Oh wait, is this a big man or is this like a?
He's a wing.
Okay, never mind. I don't know. Oh, well, no. Oh my God, Zaire Smith.
Zaire. Yeah.
Yes.
I like Zaire. And it's weird because his rookie year, he factored into the playoff rotation.
Yeah.
And then this year, Lord knows what he was doing. But Santi Aldama's there, not bad. They had Kennard. They brought him
Oh,
over.
Luke Kennard. That's right.
They got Kenny Lofton. I don't know what they plan to do with him.
Zaire Williams was his name, not Smith.
Zaire. What did you say? Zaire Smith?
Zaire Smith. Zaire Smith was a player who played on the 76ers.
Yes, you're right. You're right. He yeah. I do remember that name too. Close, but not, you know. But
Off my last name. I got.
but yeah,
I got
Zaire. I like Zaire Williams. I think that's a dude that should be getting minutes on this team.
Agreed.
What else do y'all like think could happen for the Grizzlies?
So I think that they probably trade Steven Adams because I just think that like they have a lot of big men on that team. And I think they just go for like more the developing talent. That and like Steven Adams is like he can still play, but we can say that he's entering the twilight of his career.
And he usually has a big contract, right?
Yeah, he usually has like a big contract, and I think he just while Memphis can like still contend, I think he would rather contend without all the noise type deal, you know.
True.
Yeah.
So I think they deal him for some more depth at the wing if they're losing Dylan Brooks. And then I think their rotation for at least the big men, it goes Triple J, they have Brandon Clark, and then I think they actually end up giving Kenny Lofton more minutes.
I like that.
Kenny Lofton Jr.
Yeah. Why not, man? He's
He can play.
And he's just an interesting matchup. Like he's, you know, like he brings something different that you don't see every day.
Yeah, he's thicker than Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, no, facts.
Kyle Lowry got that. Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeremy? How do you feel about these Memphis Grizzlies?
My only thing is if they trade Steven Adams, then they definitely have to go for like an actual vet. Because I think Steven Adams was like the oldest one on the team at like
That's a good point.
28, right?
Good
Or
point.
29 or something. Which is crazy because he looks like he's 40. But I think Steven Adams being the vet of your team is probably where one of the problems lies. Because
That's a
I
good
don't know,
point.
there was just a lot that came out where like Steven Adams was like leading a player meeting, and then obviously like he had words to say, but like I guess it just wasn't received as well as it should have been.
Hmm.
But I do think they most likely are gonna have to go for a vet, not necessarily someone who's gonna take up like a lot of minutes, just someone who can kind of be like the presence in the locker room kind of thing, which is definitely which without Dylan Brooks probably isn't needed as much, right? But they definitely
Still
do
some young
need.
guys. I mean, I feel like there has been a bit of a knock on Triple J's like personality at
Yeah,
times.
Yeah.
So like that's definitely someone that like will just need to be like kind of kept in check, kept
kind of checked.
accountable.
Yeah, for
And
sure,
it would make sense to have a vet that also plays his position to do that.
for sure.
So does anyone come to mind? I don't know. That's the thing. Like I don't know anyone that comes to mind.
Honestly,
Uh
like, yeah, I have no idea like who would want to go into that locker room,
yeah,
right? And
that's
I
the
th-
thing
I
too.
think I think the most appeal that you're gonna get being Memphis is you have John Morant and
Right.
you have JJJ, right? So there's not really much of an appeal outside of that, in my opinion. Because I don't really think Memphis isn't a place where big free agents tend to go.
Of course not.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. And then also like, do you want to affiliate yourself with a point guard who might not even be playing for half the season?
Yeah.
Your star point guard that the team is built around. You know what I mean? Especially if you're like if like you're a guard going to that team, you're kind of like, I don't even get this position for that long because obviously Ja probably doesn't have to earn his spot because he's already proven that he's a
Yeah.
superstar in the making.
And he's getting that money that
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like if I'm a veteran point guard, like if I'm like a Mike Conley, or if I'm like a I don't know, like a Fred Van Vliet type player, you're gonna want to go somewhere where you know that your talent isn't gonna be wasted.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But so I do think they probably do look for like a big man vet, like a David West type. I think David West type of player in the locker room and on the court would be something that is just helpful in every way. Because obviously it checks all the egos of all the young guys, and it makes sure that the vibe in the locker room isn't, crazy
Mhm.
as it has been the past year. But that's just what I think. But I have no idea who that player is because all those kinds of players are obviously locked into their teams or they're not in the league
Yeah.
anymore. So
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's so hard to think of like bigs in general.
The only guy who came to mind for me, and it isn't more so kind of just, I mean, I don't know if he can do this, but the only guy that came to mind for me was like DeAndre Jordan. And you signed him with the expectation that you probably don't play him,
yeah,
but
exactly.
but you signed him with the expectation that well, maybe one, he could just like help alleviate kind of like the stars on those teams and just tell them like, hey man, like this is the league type thing. Like y'all got to
He's
deal with
out.
whatever comes your way. Two, instead of just like having a guy that's like just as like serious as they try to be, I'd rather just bring in a guy who could be just as giddy as
Oh, for
he
sure.
could be. It's
Yeah,
like,
that or you bring in like a JaVale.
I was
yeah,
literally thinking
yeah, JaVale is good.
JaVale.
JaVale can still play.
He
I
can. That's crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
like
Dallas, I don't know what you're doing.
for real, for real. Yeah. You bring in JaVale,
And yeah, he could play.
that's a guy that like everyone will listen to. Like you'll take what he has to say and like really take it to heart and know that it's coming from a winning like pedigree.
Someone who's
Like
won, yeah.
he's
Yeah.
won and he's also been like he's played a role on those teams.
He has
Yeah.
2, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Warriors-
one with
One with us and one with the Lakers.
Lakers.
well,
Yeah,
one and a half because Mickey Mouse, but
yeah. Well, he's
Fair.
also an MVP.
Shaq in a fool. I mean, he got the hardware, man.
hey,
He got
hey,
the
accolades are
hardware.
accolades, man.
Hey,
Hey, that's more accolades than Dylan Brooks ever had.
Yeah, I mean it's well past them now, but like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean that could work for them.
But yeah,
However, I just
JaVale.
don't know.
JaVale could work. Hey, shout out DeAndre Jordan, man. If he gets a ring, he's in.
Oh yeah, he's in Denver,
Hey,
he is.
that's big. If he gets a ring, I'll be so happy.
dude. That's actually so cool. I'd be
I
like
would be
super happy for
so
him.
happy for him. All right, yeah, I think that was good. That'll wrap up the Grizzlies talk. We don't need to go any further on those guys. But I think we should just move on to the most important thing happening as of tomorrow, the NBA Finals. We got they were the number 1 seed in the West, right? The Denver Nuggets taking on the number 8 seed in the East because they were a play-in team. And real quick too, I think what the Lakers did and what the Heat are doing still really adds value to what that play-in.
Dude.
You know,
Yeah.
like that like the play-in, if there is any doubt, because people have asked me, man, like, why is there a play even till now? I'm like, I don't know why we still have this conversation about why is the play-in a good thing, bro. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the only people who are mad about that is the people whose teams are barely the 8th seed.
yeah,
It's
because
like we should be in the playoffs type thing. It's
yeah,
like,
we were the 7th seed, but it's like, yeah, you were ahead of these teams by 3 games type of deal. You know, it's like,
you're only barely ahead.
and honestly,
Yeah.
bro, no one has ever been like, oh, bro, we're the 7th seed, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it's definitely one of those where you're like, oh, frick, we're definitely out in the first round type of deal. So it's like, nah, dude, like making the 7 and the 8th seed shouldn't be like this. Like you feel confident and good about like what you're doing. Like, you know, you should still have to earn that thing. But I think, yeah, what those two teams, with the Lakers, how far they made it, and the Heat are in the finals. Adam Silver's like, he's looking down and he's looking like a proud father right now. He's like, that was all me, even though it wasn't.
Yeah,
But he's like, I'm taking credit for that, yo. Like that was me, type of deal. But yeah, then it's the number 1 seed in the West, number 8 seed in the East. I think that's something we have not seen in a finals. So that's already a fun storyline, a lot of parity there. And the paths that both of those teams took to get to the finals were very different. Obviously, the Heat did something huge from the jump with Milwaukee, continued that and like dominated New York, which was fun. And then they were almost on the wrong side of history, but they pulled it out because Jason Tatum's a fraud. And Jimmy is that guy. And then you just have the Nuggets who they put all those questions and they answered them. They took all those questions about them, like what can they do? And even, you know, like it came from last year's playoffs too, how it was a disappointment because they basically did the same thing last year in the regular season. Didn't have anything to show for. But they beat all the teams that I wanted them to beat. The way that Jokic was just running circles around DeAndre Ayton, making him look like a child was great. And then he did it again to the Lakers. I was like, man, Jokic, bro. And then of course you got that tweet about the fat Eastern European, like what they do to the Suns, right? Is that what it was? Like
something like that. I remember, like
like Luka and then now Jokic.
Oh yeah, like the two Eastern Europeans are just like fathers to the sons.
yeah. But like, yeah, it's interesting, man. Like each of these team has their main guys, their main 1 and 2, but then they also have so much depth. Like you got all the dudes with 2 first names. You got Caleb Martin. You got Gabe Vincent. And what makes this even more fun is Tyler Hero is supposed to come back in the finals. Like he can do that.
Dude,
Game
That
3.
makes this so much even more fun. I want to see him go 1-on-1 with what's his name, Brown?
Bruce Brown?
Is that the white dude in you know what I'm talking about?
On Denver?
Yeah.
Oh no. That's
Like his last name is spelled Braun, Braun, but they
No,
say it's pronounced Brown.
I don't know his first name, but I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, I want to see them. I want to see the two white boys go 1v1. But Denver's stacked, bro. They're deep. Like they like Aaron Gordon's playing well. MPJ doesn't even have to play well every game. And then on the same side with the Heat, they got like Duncan Robinson showed up recently. That's cool. So how are you guys feeling? I want to hear your predictions for who went, like how the series goes. I want your finals MVP. Give me everything.
I'll go first, I guess. I think because I already know Tomlin's answer, but I want to go against the grain and say Heat in 7. That's what I want to say. That's what my heart says, but my brain says probably like Nuggets in 5 or 6. But
In 3 if they could.
but the NBA fan in me wants to say Heat in 7. Just because I want to see the series go the distance. Obviously one team's going to be a little bit more gassed than the other team, which is, it always sucks to see that. But honestly, the Nuggets have earned that. They've just been, destroying the West, and it's been so much fun to watch. I saw this tweet that said, Jokic looks like he plays in flip-flops. Like it's so funny because it's like you just pull up any clip and it's like, it's so true. He'll flick up a shot from behind his head and it'll be the wettest shot that you've ever seen in your entire life, like nothing but net.
And he has like that weird gallop,
Yeah, where he's like
walks
moving his
away.
shoulders
It's
and
funny,
stuff,
dude.
and I'm like, dude, it's
I
so
love
much fun to watch. And I think the one thing that this series is gonna bring is there's not gonna be much theatrics to it. I think it's gonna be as pure basketball as we probably could have got in the finals this year. And I'm really excited for that, man. And I just think if Tyler Hero is to come back, it's like, how much do you play him? How much do you play him? Because like Duncan has been killing it lately, to be honest. And he's showing that he's more than just a shooter too. Like he's been slashing to the rim a bit, right? And I thought that's been like something that's been super fun to watch. But yeah, and like Jamal Murray, he's one of the things that he's been saying a lot this season is like put some respect on his name, because it's like he really is one of the most talented guards in this league, especially after coming back from obviously the ACL injury, right? And so many people say the bubble was a fluke, but it's like these two teams were in the bubble. Granted, there's probably like maybe 4 or 5 players combined on these two teams that were in the bubble, right? But like
The main guys were there.
the main guys are the ones who made it back, and I love to see a story like that, especially with the Heat, and just seeing the way that Jimmy's literally willing his team to wins. I think we're going to see more of that this series as well. And him just battling with Jimmy battling with Jamal Murray is going to be something to watch, but I think Jokic is just going to blow Bam out of the water. That's just my opinion. But if like Caleb Martin can be Caleb Martin in the Boston series, they have a chance, I think.
Yes.
That boy, his cojones are huge, bro.
Game 6 and 7, especially.
Man.
Oh gosh.
Man.
Yeah,
But
they said in that series he didn't score less than 15 points a game.
yeah, and that's coming off he's starting.
First,
I think
first couple games he was off the bench.
Yeah, but the last couple of
And
games
he played into the starting lineup.
Yeah,
Dude. Like he'll hit a shot when they need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like man, that guy, he's so good. And I can't wait to watch tomorrow. Right? It's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. It's exciting. I'm excited.
For sure. Finals MVP?
Oh, finals MVP. Jimmy.
Fair.
I think.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. All right. So Tyler Hero is supposed to come back game 3. So that could be like big for them. There is the question of like how many minutes you give him. I think you still limit his minutes just because of like how well Miami is playing. But with that being said, yeah, Miami is playing really well. The Jimmy Butler lore this whole playoffs has been
Dude.
crazy, absolutely insane. Spoelstra showcased that like right now he's probably the best head coach in the league for sure. Shouts out to you, Tito Spo. So they have a really great team, but Denver in 5.
Fair.
Understandable.
Because like not only is like Jokic playing out of his mind, doing like just these lackadaisical like dribble movements overall, and still hitting like deep threes over Anthony Davis like
And
it's
dimes.
nothing.
And LeBron.
And dimes and LeBron.
And
Like,
LeBron.
that's like what I'm seeing like what it reminds me of right now. Do you watch boxing, JQ?
Yeah.
You remember when Andy Garcia whooped what's his name?
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua. Like it was nothing. Like anytime I think of like Jokic, I think of Andy Garcia. And like for context, Andy Garcia is like this Hispanic boxer.
Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz. Yeah, Andy Garcia. Andy Ruiz is like this Hispanic boxer. And he's thick.
Really? Yeah.
And Anthony Joshua is like just this built boxer.
Prototype.
He's like the image of what you have in mind for a boxer when you like create a boxer. And Andy Ruiz straight worked him that first fight at least. And that's what Jokic has done to the West this whole year, where it's just like, yeah, like the way he plays, I don't even want to call it like unorthodox because it isn't. Like there is like some fundamental to it,
Right.
But like you can't even explain it, just like what he's doing right now. And the fact that like he's playing better, I think he's playing better than he has last year. And he's got that, and he's got his guys that like to ascend with him, because Jamal Murray, one of the most underrated guards in the league right now, is playing out of his mind. Porter Jr. is like finally getting into like his spots, getting his shots, and he's actually passing the ball this time.
Yeah.
And Aaron Gordon like is holding his own again. Like the fact that Aaron Gordon held his own against guys like KD was like that to me. That let me know that like, okay, no, like this Denver team can win it all.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon is playing well. KCP is even like coming in clutch for a lot of those bailouts.
Bruce Brown,
exactly.
Bruce Brown.
Like they're all playing like they're playing so well as a team. They're also a really well coached team because Michael Malone just knows these guys. He knows like what to say to them and like what to do with them, both in rotation and just to motivate them. And yeah, they're just playing too well. Like, and Jokic is going to be the Finals MVP. I mean, like off stats, but like even eliminate the stats, probably just off impact alone, because that whole team, just is that whole team is him. Whether it's because like Draymond said this on his podcast, where it's like you have to choose to take away his passing or like his passing lanes or like disrupt his shot, but teams have just been scheming to like try and do both, and they've like failed at both. So I think while Miami is like a good team defensively, even if they take away his passing lanes, he'll still probably go out and get 40 on Bam.
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, the sentiment me, because I look at it this way. If Jimmy ain't winning this year, he probably ain't winning ever. Like it's like, that's just the reality. I love Jimmy, bro. Like the world wants to see Jimmy get a ring for sure.
I agree.
And it's like, if I had to choose, it's like, of course I would want Jimmy to get it now because he probably doesn't have a chance. And this Nuggets team is built for a while.
Yeah.
But that ain't how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't get it that way. I'm gonna give the Heat some a little bit more here and say Nuggets in 6. I think just for the storyline and the chaos, I want them to steal either game 1 or 2 in Denver, just to build the intrigue, and like at the end of the day too, if Miami, like this is set in stone for sure. If Miami wins this year, Spoelstra is at worst the third best coach in the history of basketball, in my opinion. Like if he can win with this on top of what he's had beating this team that they're about to play, like there's maybe one or two guys better than him to ever coach basketball, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. But the reality of it is, like you said, bro, I'm telling you, this is exactly what Jokic did when he was watching Game 7. He was watching the two teams he might play against. He watched that first quarter and then he went to bed. You know why? Because he's like, he's like, when I wake up, it don't matter. I'm killing either of these teams. Because it was never going to happen for the Celtics. Oh, it would have been much worse for the Celtics.
Yeah.
But as much as I like Bam, like Bam hasn't been Bam this year overall, you know? Like he has stepped up a little bit more in the playoffs, but like I think both of you said, he's got nothing for Jokic. Like if AD had nothing for Jokic, Bam don't got nothing for Jokic, dude. And that's respectfully too, because like I like Bam can play. Bam's a good player. He's a good two-way big. He can do something. But there's levels to this game, brother. There's levels to this game. And the level that Jokic is at, like hindsight's 2020 when I say that like Jokic probably should have gotten his third straight MVP. I'm not mad at Embiid, but just hey man, like if whatever's happened in the playoffs can show you, bro, Jokic is really that guy. Like just because Embiid beat him in one game don't mean nothing to me, honestly. And my biggest question mark is there are guards that can lock up in Miami, but I don't know if any of them have anything for Jamal on defense. With like if Jamal's gonna come out there and average 30 like he did in the Lakers series or whatever it was, it's gonna get real scary. It's gonna come down to, okay, we can't really guard them on defense. We just got to keep up with them offensively, and that's where, unless you got Caleb, like you're gonna have to have everybody. Like Duncan's got to hit shots, Caleb's got to hit shots. If Hero comes back, he's got to hit shots. Kyle Lowry's got to like, you know,
Badass.
About it.
he low-key just gotta show his ass in the series, like legit. Type of stuff. And you know, you want to get a big game out of Gabe, because Gabe Vincent had some big games in that Boston and the New York series too. So like they literally have to have 8 or 9 guys all hooping against this team that at minimum could have just 2 guys hooping and still win. But like you said, Don, like KCP, great pickup, by the way. Yeah. Bruce Brown, great pickup. Those two have added a lot. And what did I made a joke. I was like, bro, Denver ain't even unleashed Ish Smith on.
I saw that.
This man just waited. He's waiting his turn too.
That guy could get a ring too.
But shout out Ish Smith, former Rockets guard as well.
Former Warrior.
Everywhere. He's probably he's almost every team's former guard. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say realistically it probably is Denver in 5. Like I think we can confidently say that Miami can probably take 1 game at home. But for the chaos, I do want to see them steal game 1 or 2, and then like all the like ESPN people and stuff like that just like go into chaos. All the Embiid stands just like, you know, create this narrative. But yeah, I'm gonna say Denver in 6. Jokic is the MVP. And it'll be sad if Jimmy loses. I'll be really sad, but it's just the reality that you just gotta accept that like Jokic really looking like Thanos these days, and it's scary. And he's 27?
Really?
28?
He's pretty young, I know that much.
He's not that old.
What?
Dude, he's not that old.
Let's see just how old he is. He's 28.
Dude, that's crazy.
28 though.
Jokic is 28.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's got some time. And the interesting thing about him as a big, the way he plays, he's not getting a ton of, like, he plays heavy minutes, but he isn't like so physical where he's falling down and constantly banging and
knees,
stuff like, because he has
yeah.
that finesse to him that like he can keep his body going for like he can go for longer than like other bigs that are, you know, constantly like an AD, you know.
Yeah.
So that's even like more scary is that this guy can also, you know, play as long as he wants, really.
He couldn't jump over a textbook if you asked him to, but
But
you know,
he'll shoot over 80.
he'll give you 40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
He'll
He'll
give
for
you
sure
40.
give you
He'll give
40.
you a clean 40 and 10 assists, bro.
But yeah, no, some of those buzzer beaters that he was just throwing up there, I was like, this dude is playing horse. He's playing horse.
Yeah, literally. Like there are just so many of those shots where I was just like, yeah, like that's the best way you could have defended it. Like the fact they went in, like,
Yeah.
yeah, you just gotta turn around.
Nothing
Like,
you can do.
Nothing you can do.
Like he's throwing it from back. Like I forgot who it was, but somebody did a side by side with this shot and then the Manny Pacquiao. Just shooting.
Oh,
Same form. But yeah, no, it's gonna be Denver. It's gonna be a good series though. I think even if it just goes 5 games, it'll be a good game, good series. These are two very competitive teams. They got dogs on both sides, and they got good coaches.
they got history too.
Got history too, yeah. Like both fan bases too are very good
Oh yeah.
home like crowds. So yeah, I think either way it's a satisfying end to whoever wins. These are the two teams that should be in the finals for sure. There's no asterisk to either of these teams, which I'm happy about too. And yeah, as NBA fans, we're getting a treat.
I think as like a viewer, because like while I think Denver's gonna win, like I'm like 50-50 on who I want to win because like
yeah.
if Jimmy wins, then yeah, once again it adds to the Jimmy lore, rooting for Tito Spo. But if like there's a part of me that also kind of wants Denver to win too, because I'd rather have an organization that's never won it like at all to
Yeah.
get there first.
True.
Like
Do a lot.
yeah, like I think it just like adds to like the history of the NBA and just like the like enriching the history of the NBA rather than it just be riddled with like Lakers, Celtics, like us, this like Spurs, you know, just like the continuous dominant teams. Like let's like I'd like a change, you know.
Yeah. Good. It's like a fresh change of pace for the league too. And it would be cool too. Carmelo just retired. And so his first
Oh,
organization
yeah.
winning a ring. Not with him, but like, you know, that's cool. I'm sure he'd be happy about that.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll sign a 1-day contract.
Oh, just to retire as a nugget for the ring.
Whatever the closeout game is, he's just gonna sit there like him. You're gonna see Udonis Haslem on the Heat bench trying to get in, and then you're gonna see Carmelo suiting up and warming up with the Nuggets.
Just have him run once for the last game.
Yeah. But all right, that's gonna wrap us up. We talked a lot. Good conversation, good discussion. Do you guys want to leave anything for the viewers before we head on out of here?
I'm gonna say once again, Denver in 5. But yeah, it's a fun season. Like I think it's gonna be a really fun finals. And this is like kind of looking forward, but I would say keep your eyes on like the upcoming draft because in my opinion, I think it's gonna be a lot more talented than people like might perceive it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hit me buckets.
I like that. Yeah, and yeah, I just want to say thank you again to both of y'all
Of
for
course.
dropping by. Always good conversation, talking hoops, and you know, there's probably another time we can do this and talk about random other stuff. I know y'all are both interested. We're all interested in like very similar things.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
I think you guys are good to have here on the show. Good fresh perspective. You know, I guess it ain't bad having a couple dudes from the Bay Area here and there on the show. to rep the West Coast and all that. It ain't that bad. I thought it would be, but it's not that bad. But yeah, thank you guys to anyone who's listening and watching this video or listening to it on like Spotify or anything. Stay tapped in with us. There's ideas that I have. I officially started my summer grad semester today. I didn't even sign into my online stuff yet, but I started today. So I am gonna be busy, but we're gonna try to make it happen all summer and do some cool things. I got some ideas, things I want to talk about on the show for you guys. Obviously, the food things that we usually do. We got all these movies and shows and sports stuff. Everything. There's a lot of stuff happening this summer, and I want to talk about it. So we're gonna try to make time for it. We're gonna do our best. But thanks for sticking with us. And until next time, we'll see y'all. Peace out and God bless.
See you later.
Peace.